Hi, I'm Chris Bateman. I'm here with Brian Burrow, the author of Bringing Down Bear Stearns in the August issue of Vanity Fair. Brian, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
Now, you've covered Wall Street for several decades. Is the fall of Bear Stearns the most stunning event you've seen in this whole time?
Several decades. God, you made me sound old. I'd have to say it's in the top 3, 4, 5. Just the idea of a major investment bank, the 5th largest investment bank in the country, being brought down on what amounted to a run on the bank, fueled not by some criminal indictment, which we've seen, or by some massive quarterly loss, which we've seen, but by a run of rumors and innuendo that may or may not and probably weren't true. So it was pretty surprising. I've been on Wall Street about 25 years, and certainly there hasn't been anything like this in that time.
Now, Ralph Cioffi and another Bear executive, Matthew Tannen, were both managers of hedge funds that imploded at Bear Stearns. They were indicted for misleading investors while the story was being edited. What do you think are the chances that they'll be found guilty?
You know, my guess is pretty small. Just about every time I've seen in the last 25 years where they bring criminal charges against fairly minor league Wall Streeters, they always end up getting settled with some type of public service, or they'll have to clean up by the highway or something like that. But by far the more interesting investigation in the wake of Bear Stearns' demise is this SEC investigation to see whether or not, and this is the central question we address in the article, to see whether or not Bear Stearns died of natural causes or whether it was murdered. The case for murder, which is very hard to prove, is put forward by some of the senior people that we talk to, that they feel like certain unnamed hedge funds and short sellers spread these rumors that Bear was having a liquidity crisis, that it was running out of money, and that then pushed them out into the public via the media. And made millions, if not billions, of dollars on it. It is a very difficult case to prove. Nothing short of subpoena power is going to do it.
Now, talking about those rumors, I guess CNBC played sort of a big part in grilling Bear Stearns on these rumors about their liquidity. And you talk about that in your article, and I was wondering, do you think that they crossed any sort of line in discussing that stuff?
Well, there certainly is a sentiment among the top executives at Bear that CNBC contributed to their demise, that it fueled these rumors, it passed them on when it shouldn't have, et cetera, et cetera. I went through CNBC's coverage minute by minute that week, a fate I wouldn't put on my worst enemy. And I think they went right up to the line. They tiptoed on it. But all in all, I think they were pretty careful. I don't think you can make a case that CNBC was duped or irresponsible. I think CNBC would say it was just aggressive, and I think that's fair.
Mm. It was about 20 years ago that you wrote Barbarians at the Gate, very famous Wall Street book. And so was this maybe the closest thing you've written to that story since then, or does it compare to that?
Yeah, it's funny. It was 20 years ago this year, 20 years ago this fall, that the RJR Nabisco deal happened. People are the same. Wall Street is the same. The numbers are somewhat bigger. It seems like a tougher place now than it used to be. Not quite. It's harder to find that country club atmosphere you used to be able to find inside some of the investment banks. But it's still a wonderful place to find stories, because the stories in many cases seem so daunting and so complex. But when you break through, it's just about money, and in most cases men, not women. And they're good stories waiting to be told.